Hello and welcome. This is Sports Tonight. We're broadcasting live from Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. It's always a delight to have you join us. I'm Austin Okonakwan saying welcome on board this Sports in Flight. What's in the menu tonight? Football fans in Nigeria are still relishing that Super Eagles 3-0 friendly game victory over the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Right here in the country, they don't see it as a friendly. When the Super Eagles win, it's time to celebrate. But what are the lessons for Coach Sunday Oliseh and this team that is undergoing rebuilding? We'll talk about that one extensively tonight on the show. Just to let you know that tonight is a ball game show. We'll talk football and basketball. I will also take a look at match day 33 of the Nigeria Professional Football League. What is the LMC trying to say after that game between Ifa Enuba and El Kanemi Warriors? First, we heard it was a walkover, and then all 3 points goes to Ifa Enuba, but the LMC bounced back tonight. Strong resolutions, and it seems that game will be replayed. We'll talk about that one also on the show tonight. We'll also take a look at wheelchair basketball. Yes, it's a special kind of sport. We love it. We'll talk about our special athletes that get you ready for the wheelchair championship, and of course for the African qualifiers for the Olympics. Yeah, that's the big one in August. Team Nigeria already getting ready. We'll talk about that one also on the show. It's always an action-packed world of sport, but quickly let's bring you into all of this. Let's get you talking. I know a lot of you have been talking about it from the morning, the Super Eagles of Nigeria and that win over Cameroon. Let's continue it tonight on the show as we take a look at lessons for Coach Sunday Oliseh and this new Super Eagles team on Twitter. We're Channels_sports. Go there, verified Twitter handle. We do nothing but just talk sports. We love talking sports right there. And on Facebook, we're Channels-sports. If you're on the go and you want to watch this show, it's very simple. Do not worry. Just go to m.channelstv.com and download the Channels TV app. And also our top stories can be found on our website. It's channelstv.com/channels web. And of course, on YouTube, you can see all our videos. That's the confirmation of the channelstv.com. Download the Channels TV app for iPad, iPhone, your BlackBerry, your Android, your iOS, and your Windows phone. You know what? It works like magic. Once you download the app, you're part of the fun. Now let's talk sports. I'm being joined by these guys. They just love talking sports whenever they're around. It's fireworks all the way. Tune Koiki joins us tonight on the show. Tune, good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much, Austin.
Coach Sunday is giving you reasons to talk again?
For positive reasons this time around, yeah. So it was a great game, actually. I was very surprised at the result.
Really?
I'm sure a lot of people must have been surprised. Following on the heels of the performance against the Democratic Republic of Congo, no one expected such a stirring result because it was a historic result. That is the greatest ever margin by which we have beaten Cameroon since 1968.
And that's why we don't care if it's a friendly game. That's why we don't care. Well, Uchiku is also here. Good to know you're not managing crisis tonight.
No, I'm not. I've not managed any crisis for a long time. You know, I didn't see what happened as a crisis. I think it was somehow blown out of proportion. These things happen, but thankfully, the Nigerian Football Federation and the characters involved, you know, have sheathed their swords. And you see, we must put the interest of the country first.
Yeah.
If Oliseh and Enyama had done that, then this issue would not have been blown.
Very true.
You know, it's purely an ego thing. You know, when the coach is talking, you listen.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has a boss. You work here, you have a boss. When your boss is talking, you listen. You can you study his.
But after listening to your coach, can your coach also listen to you if you have something to
say? Yeah, but the coach also told him that you can meet me privately later.
Yes.
He said so.
Exactly.
He said so. And you see, we don't need to put emotions. Yes, Enyama buried his mom and all those things, but you see, we need to do things properly. Yeah. Maybe Oliseh's style could be, you know, could be questionable. You change the captain.
How you change
it? You could have called him and said, okay, they do these things. When Dallas was removed as captain of Arsenal, he took it in good faith and continued playing. So see, these issues, they were really blown out of proportion. I don't see it as a big deal because it happened. At the time, Sir Alex Ferguson hit Beckham with a sort of a boot. You know, it was
Roy Keane at the 2002 World Cup as well. So.
But we need to put the interest of the country first.
Very true.
Now the country beat Cameroon, and everybody's happy.
And that's all I want us to talk about. Leave the politics and go to the football on the field of play. Today, what did the Super Eagles, what did they do differently in that game against Cameroon that was missing against the R Congo?
They did quite a lot that was right. Plenty that was right. I like the movement. I like the pressing game. I like the way they harried the Cameroonians, didn't allow them to settle. I also like the fact that they were really up for it. It was really a fight. They made it a real contest rather than rolling over against a team that has continuously seen them as their wives. You know, nine wins for Cameroon, seven draws, just 4 wins for Nigeria.
Look at that. And this guy stepped up after making an error.
Ambrose Efe is actually quite good in the air. He scored a few goals both for club and country, off set pieces and off corners. So that's actually his forte. While you might have questions regarding his concentration or the fact that he makes a few errors, but it changes not from the fact that he can be really good in the box. And this for me was a real good goal. He sold him once, buried it to the far corner. The keeper was distraught because he felt he should have had that place covered. Yeah. But Moses Simon, I've watched him for Ghent many times last season. The fellow is a handful. He's like, for those who have ever lived in the village, you know all those billy goats, very stubborn, very stocky creatures, and this was another really good goal. Excellent cross by Elderson Ichejile, finished up impressively by a player who is in brilliant form. So it was a really good performance. Yes, a lot of people are saying it was a friendly match. It was a match that didn't have a competitive edge, but take nothing away from the fact that you are beating a team that has won 3 Nations Cup finals on the back of Nigeria. That is something.
Yeah, I totally agree. I know as a smiling Sunday, Oli said there, he needed that to take up a lot of pressure from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Austin, you know, since he took over, played 4 games, won 2. Drew 1 and lost 1, you know, and the one against Congo DR, you could argue that the Congo DR team, they have a team because they got to the semi-final of the last Nations Cup.
Yeah.
And if you watch, yes, and if you watch their 2 games last year against Cote d'Ivoire, end-to-end stuff, they actually beat Cote d'Ivoire in Abidjan. So I think it's a very decent side against our Eagles team that we are still rebuilding. And I think the last game gave him some kind of succor. You know, we still spoke about what happened between him and Enyama. A lot of barrage of criticism against him. Going forward, he could look at this team, look at some places that he needs to beef up, especially in the central defense position, and take some positive lessons. You know, going to the World Cup qualifier next month.
I want to stay with those positive lessons, Tony Koiki. Positive lessons. The midfield, they're getting better. Like I said, the pressing game was very impressive. It was intense. And that is what he was trying to impress on this team, that, look, if you do not allow your opponents to settle, they cannot hurt you.
That's it. And the midfield did very well. John Mikel Obi had probably, since 2013, I don't think he has played at the Nations Cup. He hasn't played such a good game for the Super Eagles in a long time. And, you know, we've talked about him being like the football equivalent of a quarterback. You know, look at that long raking pass release, Moses Simon. It was inch perfect, and that's what we've talked about.
Also mentioned that he gave the cross to
the player has the ability, but for some reason he continues. And nobody's asking him to be a Philippe Coutinho, a David Silva, but you can't be an Andrea Pirlo. Andrea Pirlo is not the quickest player, but he's probably the most dangerous player on the pitch. From deep behind enemy lines, he's controlling the pace of the game, constantly probing, and that is what John Mikel Obi is capable of doing. So I'm just hoping that he will continue to show this kind of performance on a consistent level, and that is where we've